the Pharisees, they would observe first, as a matter of course, they would send out some of the lesser Pharisees to not talk to anybody, just to observe and report back. If it was deemed of a special note, then they would send another team who would talk. It says in the King James Version, verse 6, but there were certain of the scribes sitting there and reasoning in their hearts. Mark doesn't say they're actually saying this out loud, although Jesus does talk to them. They perceived in his spirit that they were so reasoned within themselves. He said unto them, did he confront them before they confronted him?
I think that he probably did, because in verse 6 it says that they were sitting there, they're reasoning in their hearts, and reasoning in their hearts is dialogizomahi, which means to reckon thoroughly, but it also means to deliberate by reflection or dialogue. So it's quite feasible that these guys, they were actually having a sort of sidebar conversation with each other, which Jesus was obviously aware of. And this is why we've got the quote in verse 7, haven't we? The comment made, why does this man speak blasphemies? Who can forgive sins but God only? And so I wonder if this was dialogue, which was overheard. It's strange, isn't it? Because you can sit in a room and you can watch people in a room and they can be talking about something. You may not be in absolute earshot of what they're saying, but you can get a sense of what they're saying by their mannerisms, by the way that they're conducting themselves. And you can sit there and have a fair idea of what they're saying, even if you're not listening to it. I think Jesus perceives this in his spirit, what they were reasoning. He knew what he was doing. He'd really put the cat amongst the pigeons with this one.
They're there paying attention to all this. And what is about to unfold, somebody being brought to him, verse 3, and they come unto him, bringing one sick of the palsy, which was born of 4. In other words, 4 people carrying this guy, possibly in a litter. And it's an interesting word, palsy, isn't it? It's still used, but it doesn't specifically state which modern type of palsy is being referred to. Sick of the palsy could mean paralyzed. More so in the modern context, spinal muscular palsy, called wasting palsy. It obviously meant paralytic, paralyzed.
The Greek word is paralutikos, which means suffering from the relaxing of your nerves on one side, or you are disabled, or you are weak of a limb. And that's derived from another Greek word, paraulo, which means to loose on one side or from the side, to loosen or dissolve, to weaken or to enfeeble. So it would seem that the way that this Greek word describes this individual, I guess if you could imagine somebody who's had a stroke and they've lost the use of one side of their body, something like that, where he's weakened on one side, so he's not able to walk, he's got a duff arm or a duff leg or whatever it might be, weakened and enfeebled. I think in the English, a palsy will often have a slightly different meaning to that. You can have like a facial palsy, can't you, where your face will drop.